Good timing, Commander. We got a transmission coming in from the Citadel. Top priority clearance.
I could say from who, but I already know who. It's Admiral Hackett.
Is it the ambassador?
It's not his signature. I think it's from the Council.
Oh, the Council. That's unexpected. I forget about this mission. Anyway, welcome back to Mass Effect. We've finished Pharos, finally.
Commander Shepard, we've received information that may be critical to your mission against Saren.
I'll take all the help I can get.
We've received an urgent message from one of our infiltration regiments in the Traverse.
You mean spies?
Spectres tend to attract attention, Commander, but they are only one arm of the Council. Special task groups are often a better option for monitoring developing situations.
We currently have several infiltration units scattered throughout the border regions of Citadel space. This particular unit was gathering intel on Saren.
What did they find?
Unfortunately, the message we received was little more than static. The infiltration team must be in a situation where they can't set up proper interstellar communications. But the message was sent on a channel reserved for mission-critical communications. Whatever they were trying to tell us, we know it was important. Considering your interest in Saren, we thought you might want to investigate this. Find out what happened to our team. The signal originated from the planet Vermeer.
I didn't know you already had access to that planet yet.
In the specifics of Spectre activities. We only want you to be aware of all your options, including Vermeer. Good luck, Commander Shepard. We will keep you advised if we learn anything else.
Because I suppose I don't necessarily need to defeat Matriarch Benezia in order to continue the story. Vermeer is essentially the next step. I had assumed that I had to fight Benezia first, but it appears that I'm wrong. Now, of course, I could go to Vermeer, but unfortunately, more side missions have unlocked. So, I gotta go do that first, which means, unfortunately, more driving around in the Mako, more picking up random resources, looking for resources around the map, even though I probably don't really need them anymore, because I've already purchased the Spectre weapons for myself, so I know I'm not going to be able to actually get any better weapons. Now, I want to say the thing that, so back in the day, it feels like a long time now, considering, how, spaced apart these episodes are. There was the consort on, the Citadel. She gave you a Prothean device. I believe that is used on this planet to unlock something. And you get a cryptic message from it. I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember the look of the planet to be very green. So we'll see if it actually shows up in this planet. You know what would have been cool? I mean, like, it probably would have simplified all these Mako segments. Why don't you get, like, some sort of just smaller flying transport? Like, instead of a giant ship like the Normandy, you get, like, a smaller vehicle to fly around in. Then you wouldn't have to worry about constructing a physics engine in which you have to deal with the terrain and everything. You just have the flying around bit. You want to pass some mountain thing? Just fly over it. It would be a much, much less pain in the ass.
What happened to this colony? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Also, I noticed that there are bad guys at the other locations, but not necessarily this one. So it makes me wonder if there's actually anything to do in this section. Oh, nope, there's definitely something to do. So, save our game, and then it's time to kill some people. Go get them. Oh, husks. For some reason I was expecting something else. Something that was not husk related. And you're good. And there's you. Nope, don't take cover. Okay, so I'm guessing the Geth were involved in this section? Due to said husks, but I believe I came here for a different purpose. The logs. Maybe if I paid attention to which logs that mission came from, then I would know how well it was connected. But alas, it is too late for that. Okay, so there's two more places I can go. There's the civilian structure and the science facility. I suppose I should just go to the civilian structure first, although I expect the answers to be in the science facility.
Goddess have mercy. The entire colony must have been transformed.
And now in the civilian sector, are there going to be something more challenging than husks, or is it just going to be more husks? It looks like it's just going to be more husks. Which doesn't really make for a very interesting firefight, considering their only capabilities to run at you very slowly and then explode.
Area secured.
Now, I doubt there's going to be any interesting story-related stuff here. The bigger story stuff should probably be in the science sector, or the science building. Okay, so the civilian building was not necessarily that well defended, as it was just defended by husks, and me being in the Mako, they didn't really pose that much of a threat. Let's see if the science building is... Nope. Just husks again. I mean, I suppose I could just kind of leave the Mako so that the husk can provide... Oh, like, crap. I have no... So the husk can provide slightly more of a challenge instead of nothing at all. Okay, so the husk provided absolutely no challenge at all.
All clear.
Ah, one of these types of maps. That's the problem, I mentioned this before, but that's the problem with both this game and Dragon Age 2, is the recycling of map types. Now, are there going to be enemies aside from just husks?
Finally, some action.
The answer is no. Oh, do I still have the, yeah, I still have the... the anti-thorium gas, which is not exactly particularly useful. grenade upgrade.
Now I'm ready.
Oh, now she's ready. Before, when we were fighting all the bad guys, not ready. Now that we're done, she's ready to fight. Alright, there's the story bit that I was expecting, but let's take a look on here. There is an empty room with just nothing. Not even boxes to give you the illusion that space was being occupied by something. And this... damn it. And that just has items, that just has items. This probably has the information I'm looking for. A colonial pioneer team rarely consists of more than a few dozen scientists, or specialists. It's clear that none of them have survived. The Cerberus group has a lot to answer for here. Alright, I guess that's one side mission down. Actually, the more that I think about it, I think the artifact that I'm looking for, the one that requires that thing that the consort gave me, is on a planet that involves monkeys. So I don't think this is the one. I have to find the one with the monkeys on it.
We've got an active distress beacon on the
Check,
planet below,
check.
Commander. No message, just a locator signal.
I was expecting them to say a little bit more than that, but that's the kind of dedication that Commander Shepard offers for, let's see, scans of Pataton revealed a strange unmanned vessel in orbit around the planet. Telly brought it on board and determined it was Asari made, but very old. She discovered several ancient artifacts inside the vessel, including one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings. So that's the kind of dedication that Commander Shepard offers to the people who are dedicated on her to show up and save them. Like, she'll eventually show up once she does other things. Like scan other planets for helium, because helium is very necessary for the war effort. Alright, now for some reason there are already bad guys on my radar. What are they doing? Over there. Where did they come from? Where do they go? Oh. There's Thorian creepers here? But why? I thought the Thorian creeper was limited to the other planet I went to, Pharos. Is there another creeper creeping about this place? It's a good thing your own explosives don't have any splash damage on the Mako itself. Otherwise you'd be screwed. And by the way, there is one, like, okay, so the acquisition of these minerals gets you money to spend on items and equipment, but there's also a side quest that deals with the acquisition of said minerals. So there is more than one reason to drive your Mako uncomfortably across the sides of mountains in order to get in order to locate these rocks, as it does give you experience to level up. And this planet as well has a science facility defended by something. With any luck, I'll actually be able to drive over these rocks and not have to worry about driving around this mountain in order to get to it, because that would be a huge pain. But it looks like I'm all in the clear in regards to the rocks and mountain as terrain. What do we got here? More Thorian creepers. Or, in other words, just about as threatening as those husks were in that other side mission that we just completed. Hopefully there's something more interesting than Thorian creepers inside this base. Although it looks like they borrowed the, some assets from the Citadel, specifically the lower wards. Interesting. I don't know if there's like some market stalls that use this, but the strip club down there uses that.
Enemy contact.
Oh, Thorian creeper. Ah. That is disgusting. Oh, Liara's dead. You know, this isn't a bad 1-2 punch, just kind of like knock him down, shoot him in the face.
It's over now.
And she's got toxic. I suppose I can heal her. Anything in this direction? Also, what are these, snowflake thingies that keep falling in front of the screen? Alright, let's head over to the other room, get the story for this mission, and move on with our lives. Possibly to Novaria.
Rescuers?
Oh.
Oh, thank God. See? I told you somebody would come to investigate that signal. My name is Dr. Ross, Chief Exogeny Researcher at this facility.
There's a lot
We've
of
been
lens
tracking this
flare
thing
on
for
that
days.
light.
We're almost out of food and water. You got here just in time.
I need to know what's going on. Why is this place crawling with Thorian creepers?
How do you know about the Thorian?
I know what Exogeny was up to. I saw what they let the Thorian do to those colonists, so I destroyed it.
Our secret's out then. No point in my lying. You already know the worst. The creepers here were created using altered samples from the specimens on Pharos. We discovered a way to turn them into docile, obedient servants. Everything was going fine until a few days ago. Then all the creepers suddenly went berserk. Only a handful of us made it back into the safety of this room.
So most likely when you destroyed the Thorian, that damaged their link, the creeper's link to the original Thorian itself.
What did you expect? You couldn't really believe those things were safe.
We knew there were risks, but I thought we'd taken all the necessary precautions. I didn't mean for this to happen. Look, I know what we did here was wrong. I'll admit that. But it's over now. There's no sense reporting this to the authorities, right?
But people lost their lives here. They died.
You were in charge of this project. The safety of the staff was your responsibility. They trusted you.
Why are we having this conversation so far away from each other?
I didn't mean for this to happen. Besides, how does it help anyone if I end up in jail? Normally, Exogeny would have my back, but it sounds like they're going to have their hands full cleaning up the mess on Pharos. But I've got money. A nice little emergency fund I set up. It's yours if you let us go.
Also, it's interesting. I know how Mass Effect works, but it would be nice if somebody in the background could say something.
To take you in.
That's not going to happen. Open fire. Open fire!
Alright. Exogeny's second-rate mercs proved no match for the trained Alliance Marine. With the last of the science crew dead, there's no reason to linger here. Oh well.
We got him, Commander.
It was either kill them, take the bribe, or kill them. I think I chose wisely. So this side mission is actually one I skipped for a little while now. Apparently, after you discover the death of Admiral Kohaku, I think was his name, by the hands of Cerberus, you get a location for like the main Cerberus base. So this is the main Cerberus base for me to go to. Now, to be fair, like this isn't by main, it's more like the central for like that set of quests. There's, of course, bigger and larger Cerberus locations, such as we haven't, like the main leader of Cerberus, we don't actually meet until Part 2, in which we discover that he is awesome. And sounds as though he's pronouncing the word humanity without the H. It always comes out as like saving humanity. But that might just be a quirk from the fact that they hired Martin Sheen to play as the Elusive Man. Now, this place is labeled as an underground facility, so I'm guessing before we get there, it's going to have that weird pillbox type over location. Yep, that we saw on the moon. And the interior is going to be that the same as what we just saw in the last mission with the tunnel that leads to the overexpanding area that has the two hallways at the end. Take that, box.
En route.
Yep. Yeah, it's what... I probably should provide a little bit more detail to what I was saying, because that was not entirely clear. But now we have giant pillars of metal. How did they even get these into this place? Did they bring them in like vertically and then stack them up? I probably should save, actually. Because these guys actually have guns, as opposed to the... Nope. As opposed to the previous bad guys.
Enemy contact. I will destroy you.
And let's all boost our shields, and then...
I will destroy you.
Let's have Allie switch over to that. Yeah, leveled up. All too easy. Now, I suppose I could always go to the story sequence first, rather than go to the items section first. Like, it doesn't really matter what order I do it in. But I figure that the story sequence, like... I guess I want the story sequence to be the last thing I have to do. That way I can just do that and then leave. Although this area had a lot of, Yep, almost reaching my maximum limit. I think, like, I've got too much Omnigel, though, so I'm probably just going to try to head back into town, head to the Citadel, so I could sell my stuff. Yeah, I've got like 969, whatever that means, units of Omnigel. You cautiously press a few buttons, and an alarm chimes. The optical database is flashing itself. Quickly, you copy as many files as you can to your hardsuit's internal computer. Its memory wiped. The computer shuts down. The files are sure to be encrypted, but you've got time to crack them. I wonder if that actually shows up again. Like, sure, you've got time to decrypt them, but it never becomes a plot point. Thank you for watching. If you've still got the itch for more content, why not give one of those links a try? Got some questions or comments? You can comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. In the meantime, so long, folks.